reading as my wife is driving. Okay. And all of a sudden she said, "Oh my gosh, I got to pull over." And I said, "Why?" She says, "You are putting me asleep. You've actually put me in a trance. I almost wrecked." And I thought, "Oh, this really does work." This is the beginning of this.
Trump dummy, Trump dummy, Trump dummy.
And we're live.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Man, it is so exciting to be here tonight. We are going to be talking about a lot of different things that hopefully make your mind go, huh? Because sometimes just getting woken up is a good thing. You know, sometimes it takes a bucket of ice water, but hopefully that's not the case today. Today we want to talk to you about a little bit about technology, a little bit about mindset, a little bit about what your thought processes are in the start of your day and moving on through the rest of your day, and how do you keep it at a level. What things can you do to keep those levels up without breaking yourself down so that you're just dropping at the end of the day exhausted because you don't have any assistance, kind of like what Malik was dealing with earlier, where he just didn't eat all day. He needed some assistance from some regular real food and some good agua, right? Water for you non-Spanish speaking people. So so I got to bring the jokes, man. Got to bring them. So we're having a lot of fun. Yo puedo entender español también. Si tú quieres, podemos hablar español todos los días. Got it on recording. There we go. So,
Gracias.
And de nada. So, limbic arc for me is an amazing thing because I was in pain for about 11 to 12 years and I didn't know what to do with it. It was so bad that it was a 6 to an 8 in pain. I'd roll out of bed, hit my knees, and then help myself up so I could just get my cane or whatever. I was using a cane to get around, and I had a lot of other pains from car wrecks, military experience, and finally when I got on this limbic arc thing, and just as a disclaimer, we do not diagnose, treat, or cure any of these labels that doctors have put on us, right? So people come to me and say, well, will it help with this, such and such a label? All I can tell you is that the system or the technology brings our bodies back into balance. It coaches your body to get into balance so that your body can do what it does best, and that is be the body, right? And for those of us that are more elevated, we know that we are not the body, right? And time doesn't exist. So when you get to that point where you understand and realize those things, you won't even need the technology. And I believe that that's what the CEO's hope is that these training wheels called limbic arc will teach your brain, your limbic system, to do exactly what we're going to help you do in order to find that balance in life. So who am I introducing, Mr. Jamal? Yeah, okay. All right. So today we have pretty much the powerhouse in the house. We have two amazing speakers that are going to be introduced after this fantastic young man. He's wearing a hat today, just like me, trying to be, matching. Mr. Malik is a fantastic, phenomenal leader in this industry, and I can't think of anybody else better than him to just come and bring a little bit more information to the system and to this table discussion today. And Malik, take her away.
Appreciate that, Albert. We're aligned with great leaders here in the quantum field, and this is all about mindset. It's about prosperity. It's about abundance. It's about manifesting things into your life that you never thought you could manifest, right? And I remember when I first tapped into quantum energy, I was introduced to it by a man named Mansa Jamil, and you guys may have heard of this guy. I think he might be to the left of me right now, but this guy, he's an amazing person. He actually found out about this technology when he was out there in Malaysia. And when he came back, he introduced it to me. And I was just so thankful and grateful for it. But I was skeptical, just like a lot of people before they try new things, they're very skeptical about it, right? So this is the point that I was at. But, I was willing to give it a try, and I actually did that. And once I tried it for myself, I realized that this stuff was working. It was truly amazing. And I've never seen any type of technology like this that can help you with your mindset. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people don't realize that we have a lot of psychological baggage that's been passed down from generation to generation, right? I don't know if any of you guys have ever read books like, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? If you read that book, the monologue and the discussion, it pretty much talks about how his father used to always tell him they didn't have enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees and things like that, right? And I was the type of person that grew up without having anything. I have 7 brothers. I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment. I never even had a pair of Jordans until I became a grown man, right? So I literally lived in poverty. I didn't have anything growing up, and I never knew that I would be able to manifest things into my life like I can right now, right? So getting rid of all of the psychological baggage that has been passed down is something that is truly incredible. And this is something that you can actually do with Limbic Arc. So this was the first thing I experienced. I was trying the prosperity boost, and then I was also trying focus and energy. And I started to, crumble all of the different psychological baggage that had been passed down to me. And I started realizing my true potential that I could tap into. So I actually started to manifest things into my reality. I actually became one of the top income earners in Limbic Arc. And it's been one of the phenomenal things that's happened to me this year. And also, another thing that I manifested was getting a 5-bedroom house built from the ground up, and this is something that I could never even fathom before I tapped into this technology. And I remember when me and Jamil, we were at a coffee shop, like one of the first days that I tried the technology. And I said, this stuff is powerful. It works, but I don't know how I'm going to explain this to other people. And I didn't even know, how I would even, explain it to myself. I just knew that it was working. Right. So it's a phenomenal, incredible experience. And, I thank Mansa for introducing me to this platform. And it's something that can definitely help you to grow as an individual and just help you to have that right mindset that will help you in business or anything that you want to accomplish in your life, where you can, have the subconscious belief that you can do it and you will do it and you will make things happen and you will become an unstoppable force in whatever industry you choose that you want to, go forth with, or whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. They can definitely be possible once you tap into the Limbic Arc. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Mansa Jamil. He's a great friend of mine. He's a person that's actually been responsible for bringing a lot of people into Limbic Arc. And he's just an incredible person, incredible father, impeccable human being. He's always trying to share his light and wisdom with the world. So I'm going to pass it on to you, Mr. Mansa Jamil.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, both of you guys, man. Man, this is an honor for me to be here, sharing these tools with you guys to help you guys build your business. And that's the key here. You want to get yourself in the right mindset so you could, have fun and manifest prosperity in your life. So I feel like I'm in the galaxy right now. If you see my background, it's just a moving and the shaking, it's going in and out, right? So that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm in the quantum field, like kind of like, generating energy and sharing that energy with other people so they can help put their bodies back into balance and then be able to perform at higher peaks. So like Malik said, when I first seen this technology, it was all about mindset. How do we, put ourselves in the right mindset to achieve more? Because when I met this guy out in Malaysia, he was making $100,000 a day, right? And he goes, you got to try these tools that, only the elite are using right now. I'm like, what? So he caught my attention because he was, earning $100,000 a day. He went from being an Uber driver to earning $100,000 a day. So, it kind of caught my attention. So I really wanted to see what he was talking about. So when I tried the technology, I started feeling a lot sharper. My mind just started working a lot faster. I started like literally writing things down and watching it come up, just magnifying results just all around me, right? So many people start coming in and learning the same skill set, using these same tools to unlock that subconscious that really don't determine anything from truth and falsehood. It just processes over, like 400 million processes of information every single second, guys. So I got to using this technology. I suffer from asthma. All types of things started happening to me. I mean, mind you, this is technology, guys. This is not something you swallow. This is not something you rub on you. This is pure energy, right? energy information. Our bodies are actually harvesting information every single day. And we are basically a hologram, right? A full hologram. So when this technology is able to actually see what issues your body have, so it can help put it back into balance, so then you can have, high peak performance, right? And prosperity. We actually have a boost called Prosperity. And I'll tell you a story about this boost. I put this boost on, and at the time I was shopping for a property. And the thing is when I'm shopping for this property, I'm looking out here in the Bay Area, everything is like, $2-3 million a house, right? And so I'm like, man, I don't want to buy no house for 2-3 million in California, so I'm looking for a deal. So I got this prosperity boost on. My mind is like, you know what? It's not gonna stop me from finding a good deal, right? So the next day after pressing activate, the next day at 7 in the morning, I still have the text message. I ran into the deal of a lifetime. And now I'm in that property right now. And it's just a beautiful thing. I'm the first family in this property right now, guys. So the whole family has their own bedroom. We got 5,000 square feet, 7 bathrooms. I didn't even know I had 7 bathrooms until like a week ago. It's crazy because my wife was like, we got to go buy some toilet paper. You have 7 bathrooms. 7 bathrooms? What are you talking about, right? So not even really gasping this 7 bathrooms, 5 bedrooms, and 5,000 square feet house, and just not even really tripping off of it. But then it started dawning on me, like, wait a minute, this prosperity boost is actually working, so more and more people started using it. And I said, I just got to see if you guys are having some similar results, even if you're having a fraction of the results that I'm having, this thing is like the best thing going, right? So the thing is that I shared it with Malik. I started sharing it with Albert. Everybody started having different things happen in their life that was like abundance, a prosperity, blessings, all types of things coming into your life, balancing you back out, to where now you're able to perform, and our groups start growing bigger. People start getting so many different results. It was just brain boggling. I think we put over 2,500 people in our business in the course of, a few short months. And just so many people start having so much success. We said, you know what? This tool is for business owners like you guys out there that's trying to create a residual income, trying to build a passive income. They go spend thousands of dollars on, Tony Robbins or all these different events out there to get their mind in order. Yes, that's good. That's food for thought. It's feeding the brain positive information. But guess what? There's a such thing as positive energy information, guys. So, that's what we're going to share with you today, so you guys can see how this can actually help you guys, how you can, kind of start speaking stuff into existence to help your business. You might have multiple businesses out there, but you need to be in the right set of mind to help that business grow and open the door to prosperity. And that's what everyone wants that showed up on this call. They seen the message. They said, you know what? I need some of that mind food right there to get us to the week, to get us to the end of the week, right? So that's my story, guys. I have a whole lot of other testimonials that I can share with you, but I don't want to waste no time. I want to bring in a former CEO of Sanyo Electronics. This guy's amazing. I actually, met this guy in Utah. And he's retired from Sanyo Electronics, but he got really involved into this technology and helping people adjust their mindset and put their bodies back into balance. His name is Ron Spence, guys. I had a chance to meet him out in Utah. And man, just a phenomenal guy, heart of gold. And he has a wealth of information to share with us. Without any further ado, Mr. Ron Spence, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my man. How you doing?
Great. We're doing great. What some of the things you talked about, Mansa, about your friend that you met out there in Malaysia, making that kind of money. I can tell you one thing: a person making that kind of money, it didn't happen by accident. There's no stinking thinking going on in his mind. There's some really cool things that are connecting there to make that a reality. And we're going to talk about that this evening. we're going to talk about the kind of technology that we have here that can assist us all to achieve those kind of things, at least move us in that direction. And before we start, I just like to share with everybody that the information that I share with you is it's commentary or opinion, and it's protected under free speech laws. Much of this information is based on my personal experiences, as well as my interpretations of current science, and is provided for educational purposes only. It's not intended to substitute for professional advice of any kind, nor any of the things we talk about, products or services. Any of these things are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. I like to get that out of the road because we have to help you understand that the things that we talk about, we don't like to, first of all, in the beginning here, we don't want to talk about any labels of anything that has a disease meaning. We don't even like to go there. What we like to do is tell you that this technology may help you provide you a better quality of life in so many ways, not just health, but prosperity. And we're going to talk to you how it evolved, how it got here, and how you can use it as a tool. And I want to share with you a lot of the training and background experience I have and why I recognize this as such a tremendous tool and where it is going in the future, because we have some new development things that are in the books Dr. Cook is working on that's going to take us to a whole new level, much greater than we are today in terms of our ability to manifest and make things happen. So first of all, I wanted to share with you the fact that, this technology first started out in the biochemical world, having it help you select, if you will, nutraceuticals that live out in the planet, out in the world, that can actually assist your body and provide you what we called energy information. And what really is that? Well, that's, you see, our bodies are designed, we have intelligence. Our intelligence is comprised of our conscious and subconscious mind, thought process. Our consciousness represents about 5% of our interaction with what we call the quantum field. Our subconscious actually represents about 95% of our communications with the subconscious, the quantum field. And also the same relationship is that humans only experience 5% of the electromagnetic spectrum, only 5%. And that means that 95% of our reality, we don't interface with, at least easily, okay? Hopefully with the tools and things we're going to be talking about, that we're going to show you how we can make that a better experience and how we can go into this mysterious invisible place and be able to harvest rewards that are just so amazing. I mean, not only just improving our wellness, but improving our quality of life and prosperity and all these kind of things. So to help you better understand that, first of all, energy information is something that our subconscious mind, which we sometimes call our innate intelligence. Our innate intelligence, by the way, is very smart. It knows everything. I mean, we are so smart, we don't realize how smart we really are. Every single one of us have intelligence that is, everything that you want to know in reality is there if you know how to tap into it. And so this innate intelligence allows us to communicate with this system that Dr. Cook created to help us select the kinds of things that our body is looking for to help bring back into balance. And as far as our personal quantum energy field. Now, understand this, that your quantum energy field, your personal field, if it is in perfect condition, you're going to experience really good health, okay? And it can be in perfect condition or not in perfect condition. If it's not in perfect condition and things are out of line, then we're probably going to manifest something not working quite right in our physical life. The same thing can happen in our emotional life and the life that we emote and we want to be like. So let me give you an example here, okay? And you have to understand that we are we are amazing beings, okay? And don't, everybody that we know, everybody that's on this call and all of our friends and everything, everybody is here for a reason. And everybody's here
Bro,
to understand and learn, okay, how we could basically have rewards in our life that are just amazing. Everybody has the ability to do this. It's just that we've all been programmed from early on, and many of us have been programmed wrongly so, that allows us to emote in such a way that we don't have a great life. In fact, I like the example that Mansa talked about, or maybe it was Malik, rich man, poor man. That's a perfect example of how to manifest and how to get good things versus thinking another way and not getting, the enjoyment out of life. We have some great tools here within this company called Olympic Arc that can assist us. And I call it training wheels. They help us guide and direct us so that the average guy in the street can have wonderful experiences to improve their health and to improve their wealth. Okay. So, but let me give you, first of all, an understanding of how the quantum world works so that it will make sense to you when we talk about some of these principles. Now, studying health and nutrition, for over 30 years now, I've spent hours a day, it's just my hobby, as studying about health and nutrition. That all happened years ago because I became really sick. And Western medicine wasn't able to help me. After over a decade, I mean, I was really sick, and I decided that I was going to fire them and learn how to heal myself. And in that experience, I learned how to do that. And I learned how to very quickly solve my health problems. And I start realizing, wow, this is really cool stuff. How come Western medicine doesn't know about this? And here I suffered for over a decade, and I was able to solve my problem within months. And it caused me to go down a different path. It caused me to spend a lot of my time just doing research. And I've been doing it ever since for over 30 years. And along the way, I've discovered a lot of things. I've learned how the mind works. I learned as part of this journey, I learned how consciousness interfaces with subconscious and the value of that. I've learned about biofeedback. I learned about quantum physics. And all these principles and these models are encompassed in this company called Olympic Arc. And Dr. Cook did, I think, an ingenious way of combining this together that the average guy in the street can experience amazing things. And again, we started out in the biochemical arena using botanicals and how they improve our health. And we have, that's where we spent most of our time. That's where this all started. But I want to tell you that where this is going and what we have now, we're moving into a direction I feel that is far superior than helping us to become healthy. We can become wealthy as well. And it's how we think. It's how we do things. And so what I want to share with you this evening is, first of all, how this structure works. These are my, over doing this for many years in research, I want you to understand the things that I've learned, the dots that I've connected that has made this work so well. I mean, I'm, tomorrow, Mansa, you and Malik's done this. Tomorrow I'm closing on another property. And just like you, I was looking for a property, trying to put money in different places, okay, because I'm doing so well. And so I've gone ahead and purchased this property. And for months and months and months, it was such a hot market that if you went in and put a bid on something, you'd never get it because there's other people outbidding you. And it was going, I mean, it's how the market is now, at least where we are. And I played that game for several months. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to play it anymore. And something landed on my lap way below market value. I made a bid on it, and they accepted it before someone else got there. And we signed a contract, get going. Well, I'm closing on that tomorrow, okay? And it's such a great deal. It's a phenomenal deal. Well, I'm adding that to one of my properties. And it's all because of the things that I'm using with this new technology. I really believe that when I'm using prosperity, I'm going to talk to you about prosperity and the meaning of that. first of all, let me help you understand something. These are the dots that I've connected. I've discovered that in the quantum world, now this quantum world is that place where we have not, it's 95% of the electromagnetic spectrum that we don't have the physical tools, our five senses, and our human DNA to interpret what that is. It doesn't make it any less real. It is real, and we're learning how to move into that place and see the miraculous things that are there. The thing, and I believe that's where prayer lives. I believe that, you know, how prayer works. It's along the same principles we're going to talk to you about this evening, and how we have multiple people come together with the same thought process, and how we can achieve significant things, even miraculous things, okay? And how it works is that I've discovered that our intelligence, and this is connecting the dots with quantum physics theory and studies and experiments, to show that our intelligence, which comprises our conscious and subconscious, actually sends out messages to the quantum field. Now, what is this quantum field? Well, this quantum field, I've come to realize, you know, some people call it 0 point. That's where everything's deposited. But I've come to realize how the quantum field interacts with intelligence, that it acts just like a servant. In other words, imagine this place out there where 95% electromagnetic spectrum we don't interface with, there's something there. I could interpret that as a gift from God, because I look at the quantum field as a servant. Some people might look at this and say, what's a genie in a bottle with unlimited wishes? And that's true, okay? But it interfaces with intelligence. Now, as we think,
Hold on, 1 second. I don't think people heard that part. Did you say genie in the bottle?
Yeah, that's our personal experiences in life, where we've seen the movie The Three Wishes and Genie in a Bottle.
Right.
That's kind of like the quantum field. It's kind of like that, but guess what? We have unlimited wishes. Okay.
And everybody across the board has the same opportunity.
Everybody has the ability to do this, but we're not taught how to do this properly. And sometimes we don't recognize that that is a gift that we have, and we focus on negative things. And I'm going to show you why that's bad and how to correct that thought process and move us in a direction where we can achieve some of these wonderful gifts, okay? What Dr. Cook has put together in this series of how he's combined quantum physics, biofeedback, and conscious subconscious connection. In fact, the name of our company is called Olympic Arc, and the limbic system is it's the gatekeeper between the conscious and subconscious thought. Okay, that basically handles all energies, information back and forth between the conscious and subconscious. We'll talk about that. It's a significant part of how this all works, and it's so significant, it's our name, Olympic Arc. The limbic system and the arc of information that goes from one to the other, that's the reason why it got its name, okay? So without that component, we can't experience the things that we're experiencing. Many of us are experiencing these things in such a way that some people are having great results, okay? Other people, not as much. Now, I could go into one path and say, some of the other dots I've connected is that many people who don't have as good results is because I believe their pineal gland is not functioning on all 8 cylinders. And when I say that, that's the kind of the human antenna in our body, in our mind, in our head, that actually communicates with deity. Now, I submit to you that maybe that communication is with the quantum field, and there's a connection there. And when that pineal gland is calcified, which for most people it is, and why is it? Because of the fluoride water that we've been drinking, the chemicals and the stress in our lives, it actually calcifies, and it limits our ability to have wonderful experiences.
We have a temperature thing that they take your temperature with. Don't let them do that.
Yeah, well, that, and they nickname it the God organ. We have a formula that we put together to help to decalcify and detoxify that organ to make this communication more effective. So if we have time, we'll talk about that. But the key that I want to talk about is, how do we achieve this? How do we achieve the ability to have optimal health. And how do we achieve to have the ability to emote or wish for things in such a way that it manifests? How do we manifest reality? And how do we do that more effectively? I'm submitting to you that this technology may be the way for us to achieve that and make that happen a lot faster. Now, here's the principle. The principle is this. When you emote, remember, only 5% of emotion comes from the conscious. 95% comes from the subconscious, our innate intelligence, the really smart part of us. It is always communicating with the quantum world. You know, the quantum servant, the genie in the bottle with unlimited wishes, okay? And so we have that. Just know that that's a relationship that exists. There's experiments in quantum physics that would suggest that is the relationship. Okay, now, when you understand this, you realize that, okay, if I'm emoting something that is good all the time, and it's communicating with the quantum servant, the genie in the bottle is going to say, oh, this person, this intelligence over here is wishing, is seeing himself driving down a coastal highway in his new Ferrari. Okay, he just has it implanted in his mind, and he's got pictures up at his refrigerator. He's doing, there we go, man. And so we see all these things. The quantum world, the genie says, oh, this guy sees himself driving his new red Ferrari down Coast Highway every day. Well, understand that the quantum field then creates a field comprised of electrons. It starts creating that reality, coming that way to that intelligence and sending it to him. And someday in the future, that guy is driving his red Ferrari down Coastal Highway because we are all creators. When you understand this, that we are embryonic gods in a sense, okay, because we have the ability to manifest and create. The technology that Dr. Cook put together here is a tool that allows us to do that faster and more efficiently. Okay, so but we're talking about prosperity and emotions of that thought process tonight, rather than the botanical side of this technology, because we want to help you understand how powerful this is. Now, so if you are emoting something that's positive and good, the quantum genie, the quantum servant, always sees that intent, emotional thought process coming from you. It has to be imprinted in the subconscious, because here's the thing. The conscious thought only represents a very tiny part of that communication with the genie, okay? But the subconscious, we have to find a way to imprint in the subconscious, because see, the subconscious is like a program that keeps on running over and over and over. And if that program's running 95% of the time, sending the message to the quantum servant, then the quantum servant finally puts all that together and says, okay, here's come your new house, here's come your new car, here's come your prosperity, here's come your big income, here's come the great relationships, here's come the things that you always want, that you focused your attention on. Now, how do I know this? Well, one of the things early on in life, when I was doing all this research back 30 years, and this course was more recent, 15 years ago, I was so intrigued in the field and study in one area, I decided, oh, I've got to learn more about this subconscious activity. I need to learn more of how consciousness interacts and the effectiveness of that. So I went ahead and got certified as a hypnotherapist and learned how to accomplish that. Now, I didn't do that to hang my shingle out and do sessions for people. I just wanted to learn how it happens and how it can. In fact, it was really funny. One day I'm driving down the freeway and I was practicing these procedures of how to go into a person's subconscious. And I had volumes of books and everything. I'm sitting there reading as my wife is driving, okay? And all of a sudden she said, oh my gosh, I got to pull over. And I said, why? She says, you are putting me asleep. You've actually put me in a trance. I almost wrecked. And I thought, oh, this really does work. This is the beginning of this when I start realizing, hey, this is really cool stuff. But in any event, I say this to you because consciousness here's the key. we have this gatekeeper, the limbic system. We have to learn how to get past the gatekeeper into the subconscious to program it to what we want. That's the key. What Dr. Cook's done with Limbic Arc, with botanicals, does this as the same principle. Okay, the way he's done this, really clever how he's done this. But you see, people who are trained as professional hypnotherapists can do this kind of stuff. It's expensive for you. Most people don't know you can do it. And you can actually go in someone's subconscious, identify if there's anything there that's bad, neutralize it, and correct it and replace it with something good. Now, that's the key right there. We need to achieve that so that everybody in life can have that experience in a nice, easy way without, having to have a hypnotherapist or even know that it even exists. So another thing that I've come across in my studies out there, came across another doctor out there who's, I actually have had an opportunity to speak with him a couple times. His name's Dr. Bruce Lipton, okay? Now, Dr. Bruce Lipton, if you go and look him up on the internet, the guy, he's a fun guy to listen to. He talks about, and this is when I first heard this one presentation, I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's right on. He knows exactly what's going on here. And what he says, if you don't like the way your life is going, it's probably because your subconscious thought that has programs in it running, communicating with the quantum world, has something negative. And it's telling the genie, if you will, okay, this is something negative. The genie looks at it as, oh, this guy thinks he's a victim. Let's say that you're a victim thinker and think, oh, poor, woe is me and all that. Well, the quantum genie looks at that intelligent impression and says, oh, this intelligence over here loves this victimhood relationship. Well, let's create his future coming to him that he's still more of a victim. See, and that's how it works. That's the reason why it's so important to guard how and what you think. Now, Limbic Arc helps you transition into that more effectively. Of course, we use it with botanicals and things, but we're moving into emotional imponderables, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So when we take a look at how to improve our way of life in a significant way, the key is how we think, okay? Now, Limbic Arc is a tool to help us bridge that gap more effectively, but it's how we think and how we program our innate intelligence, our subconscious, and plant programs in there that once it gets past the limbic gatekeeper, and we plant it in the subconscious, which is what the Limbic Arc system does, by the way. Okay, once we do that, then it's sending 95% of its processing intelligence is going to the quantum servant, and the servant sees those programs and says, oh, this person sees this happening, and it's all good and it's great things, and that is what is manifested. That's how this whole thing works. Now, when you think of this, think of, here we are humans, we are in this sphere, in this life. And many times, as I've thought about this relationship over the years, trying to make sense of it, and trying to make, even from a spiritual standpoint, how does this all fit with anything? And I come to the conclusion that, and I didn't have it figured out right away, but later on I did, and that was this. If you are, I believe, by the way, we are here, we're in this world, this didn't happen by accident. This wasn't a spontaneous thing that a cell grew into something and we have this higher intelligence. This was made, okay? It'd be like trying to say that you can go to a junkyard and with a screwdriver and a hammer create a 747. It just doesn't happen, okay? That's the kind of relationship we have in our life. We are created. There's so many things in this life that are so wonderful and great. And you look at the life forms and all the things that are here. This didn't happen by accident, okay? But it can be manifest. There are beings like us, and maybe us, that created the things that we see around us. We are, in fact, the collective humanity. The reason why we have the reality we have right now on this planet is a result of the collective thought process of all of humanity. Now, let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. Can we improve that situation? You bet we can. We look at all the things that we have there, wouldn't it be cool? We've heard things, people who are more spiritual, and they read documents and talk about you know, places that are real wonderful like heaven and things like that. Well, I believe that we create that. When you look at how, and when I connect the dots between subconscious activity with the quantum servant, we can create that individually for ourselves. Collectively, if we have enough of us do that, we can create what would be like a heaven on earth, a wonderful place that would be so unbelievable. And the more of us who catch on to this and figure this out, and I believe Olympic Arc is a tool to assist us in that growth and development, the more that we do of this, we can create a wonderful world. But in the meantime, those of us who learn about this first, we can create that for ourselves, okay? We can create prosperity. We can create abundance in our life. We can create perfect health. We can, all of these, we can create joy and happiness and love and all these things. Now, when we emote, first of all, what we've learned, and some of this, I picked up some of this from Dr. Bruce Lipton, and I thought, wow, that's brilliant. And since then, I talked to a Nobel Prize candidate some months back who gave me another concept, and I thought of this, and I thought, oh, it makes so much sense. This person believes that we have parasites, just like we have parasites in our physical body. There are parasites that live in the energy realm that we don't see. Okay, it's energy, as well, and they live on emotions that humans actually create. And so, if we emote anger, it may be that there is a invisible parasite that's in our quantum field that wants us to be anger because it harvests that angry energy, and that's their food. What a cool concept. It made sense to me. Or if there's fear going on, okay, create an environment where another parasite lives on fear, and it creates that, and it creates a reality because it knows how to manipulate our quantum, our subconscious, our innate intelligence, to send the right emotions to the quantum field, the genie, to create a reality that has a lot of fear in it. You see what I mean?
So hold on,
we have
one second.
Yeah.
I just want to wrap my head, and I want everybody here to wrap their head around this too, because you're saying basically if you're speaking out negativity, right? There's a energy parasite that's basically developing with that negative energy and kind of like feeding on that, making it bigger and bigger and bigger, basically, is what you're saying, right?
That's exactly, and it's the same pattern is on the biochemical world. We know now scientifically that we have parasites that can live in our body and create the same type of environment in us to cause us to have cravings to eat certain types of foods that they like, that they can live on. The same thing exists in the energy, that 95% of the quantum spectrum that we don't experience, wow. Okay, easily. So we have that going on at that level as well. So if we understand that, and that's reality, what can we do to solve this problem? What can we do to, first of all, years ago when I started learning how, hypnotherapy worked, I was able to go into someone's subconscious, okay? And first of all, and there's a process that you're taught how to do all this, but you go back to every year in the person's life, and it's really amazing. And you can find stuff that is significant. With that significant thing, that's a program that's there, like Dr. Bruce Lipton says, that's something of significance that's always playing out, sending intelligent instructions to the quantum servant that maybe it was, for example, a person that was, it could be, listen to this. Here's one where someone, a great-great-great-grandparent was raped, okay? And they keep on reliving that fearful moment, and it was passed down through the generations, and now the current granddaughter, great-great-great-great-granddaughter has that, and they don't even know they have it sitting in their subconscious. It's sending that energy, that intelligent instructions to the quantum field, replaying something. It creates a fearful reality for the person, and their life isn't going right, you see? So here's the key. What can we do to, first of all, find that is, because we all have it. we all have various levels of this because we've been even inheriting it. Okay, so we have that. So first of all, let's find out: do we have it? Can we identify it? Can we neutralize it? And can we replace it with stuff that's good? Change the program that we communicate with the quantum servant so we can improve our quality of life, so we can improve the reality that's coming our way, because we are the creators. We create it and how we think and emote. But we have to, first of all, level the playing field by identifying the stuff that lives in that quantum or in your subconscious that we don't even know about. How unfortunate is that? Okay, so a reason why I'm sharing this with you is because what I believe Dr. Cook has done with his technology is, first of all, the key thing here is he's learned how to do what I can do as a hypnotherapist without the expense of doing it and the training and all that, and to be able to bypass the limbic gatekeeper. So he's able to put things from conscious into subconscious and take stuff from the subconscious and give it to the consciousness. That mechanism that he's developed there is very cool. Okay. When we do, for example, you notice when we do programs and we have when we set up an info boost, we have to go in, at least in the beginning, and identify the number of and times of notifications. The notification process, for example, is a program to help change to correct and educate and exercise the quantum genie, not the quantum genie, but the limbic gatekeeper, okay? The limbic gatekeeper that, oh, you got mail here, and it communicates now it's telling the limbic gatekeeper, says, oh, I've got mail over here into subconscious, I've got to pick up and deliver to the conscious. And it gives you a better understanding of how to use that. This limbic gatekeeper is something we don't use very much. It's become stale and calcified, almost like the same thing with the pineal gland. The pineal gland, that organ is our antenna to deity, which I believe goes through the quantum world to make that communication. And so when we put together a formula that, first of all, helps to detoxify and uncalcify that antenna, makes that experience a lot more effective. It might be, hey, that's a good one to start. Let's go ahead and run that for a month. And then what we call the God organ formula, okay? And it's only about 7 ingredients in there. Make that run, make that more efficient. And let's go ahead and then identify the prosperity boost that we have in here. Now let me tell you where we have now and where it's evolving to. For example, things like prosperity. Prosperity is a good thing. Everybody wants to be prosperous, okay? Dr. Cook has identified through his training in Oriental medicine that prosperity is tied to organs and botanicals. Now, I never learned that when I was growing up, okay? I went down a totally different path. And I'm down the path more in hypnotherapy and the path where Dr. Bruce Lipton is. And as I sat down and talked to Dr. Cook about that application, because I think it's much more efficient, he's starting to realize, you're right. We could, and he created it already in something we called imponderables. Imponderables are outside the range of botanicals where we can identify things that harm us. For example, electromagnetics. Electromagnetics are harmful to human biology, but yet he was able to identify things and be able to, the way the intent and design of it is to neutralize it so it doesn't hurt us, and actually neutralizes that. And so I have personally myself utilizing it. I've demonstrated that it really does work, okay? Well, we can take the same concept, I'll call it emotional imponderables, okay? Now, I know Dr. Cook is working on something that is like this. Now, he may not call it emotional imponderables. He has another technology he's borrowing from our sister company, Zyto, that's already there. He's actually bringing it over. And the intent of this is to, first of all, identify emotions. Now, our emotions that we have living in our innate intelligence, our subconscious, we have everything there. So it's first of all, just think of this. To be able to do a voice-activated spark scan like we do and having our body select botanicals that would best bring us back into balance, the same concept could be utilized for emotions, to be able to go into the subconscious, not doing the Eastern medicine thing where we attach various botanicals to organs that affect emotions. No, we're talking about going directly into the subconscious, your innate intelligence, identifying the stinking thinking that might be living there, sending a program out to the quantum field, giving us a reality that we don't like, or certainly we can improve upon. So think of this: we run a spark scan on the emotions, okay? And the emotions now we identify. Let's say that you have something in your subconscious, okay, that's been identified as fear. Maybe something in your parents, great grandparents, and so on and so forth. Something happened, instilled fear. It was so significant that it imprinted in their subconscious, okay, a fearful moment that keeps on being replayed, and it's passed down to you through your DNA. And now you got that experience today. You don't know anything about it. You weren't there, but yet you have that component. You are emoting that fear component in your subconscious to the quantum realm, to the quantum servant. It looks at that and says, oh, this guy likes fear things. Let's give him more fear experiences, okay? And so let's say that that's the case. We do the spark scan. The spark scan says, uh-oh, we've identified this fear thing. Just like if you had an exposure, a bad exposure to electromagnetics, 5G, okay? It would identify that 5G, so you got a 5G exposure, and it's at 96%. That tells me, okay, I've got exposure. We need to solve that problem. We select it, and it helps to nullify it. The same thing can happen when we do the emotional imponderable, and I'm just calling it that right now because I don't know what he's calling it, but we go to the emotional imponderable, we run the voice scan, it says, oh, here's fear at 98%. Whoa, there's something there that happened that's been imprinted in your intelligence that's there, and anything that's in your intelligence is sending instructions to the quantum field, to the servant. And so it's always going to give you a reality that you're always going to have fear going on, okay? It's going to give you that kind of reality. So first of all, let's identify, just like we do the 5G imponderable, we identify that fear emotion, we select it, and the design and intent of it would be to help neutralize that so that we don't have that fear. Now, at the same time, let's look at the gamut of all the other emotions that your body can select to solve that problem. First of all, if we say that it's fear, we neutralize it because we selected just like an imponderable. And now let's replace it with something that's good. What do you think would be the opposite of fear? I have to think that love is that. And okay, love is the opposite of fear.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to think, look at all the emotions. We have anger, we have fear, we have hatred, we have, I know there's a whole bunch of them, okay? Yeah. Okay, so we identify these things and we give what's the opposite of that, okay? Peace and joy and happiness and love and kindness and harmony and, all these different things. I believe once we accomplish that, we are going to have so many cool things happen in our lives. And we can even also associate with being prosperous. I mean, not the Oriental medical model of attaching botanicals to organs and stuff like that. We're talking about things that may be imprinted in the subconscious where everything happens, where the communications with the quantum servant, we're giving instructions to changing our lives. And by the way, if we don't change those things, we don't find those things, it also over time will manifest in poor health. Okay, it all goes hand in hand. Mostly everything I've learned over the years is that there is a component of an emotional imbalance that leads to a poor health. Now, we can correct the poor health with botanicals, but something long-term, unless we solve the emotional imbalance, it's always going to return, okay? So that's the reason why I believe that once we achieve this, and Dr. Cook's working, I think he's going to have something soon, that we can go in here and do this. Guys, I believe we're going to take this to a whole new level. I mean, we are experiencing now people using the ones that we have right now that are emotional based, like prosperity and things, abundance, prosperity, and having great results. I can imagine what that experience is going to be like when we go in and look in the subconscious and I neutralize that stinking thinking stuff, okay, that's sitting there, neutralize it, kick it in the butt, get it out of there, and put some good stuff in there, like joy and happiness and love and harmony and all these good emotions. And so that's where I believe we've arrived. We're close to that. And I think for those of you who are listening to this maybe for the first time or hearing, this is real. This isn't you know, hocus pocus or anything like it. This is real stuff. Energy, emotions, information is what our personal quantum field is made up of. Okay, when you break us down, our botanical bodies, to the lowest common denominator, it's all energy and information. At the end of the day, in this physical world, we are harvesting information from our physical world to keep that in balance. And once we have our personal energy field in balance in every way, that's when we create the perfect health. That's when we create a much more effective, enjoyable communication with the quantum servant. That's when we create a wonderful life for ourselves. And collectively, as humanity, we create what I believe will be the beginnings of heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth. Wow.
You killed it, Ron. I mean, that was powerful, man. That was great information. And, you know, like you said, this is not any type of hocus pocus. This is real for all of you guys who are tuning in for the first time. I mean, I've been able to experience this stuff firsthand, and it's as real as it gets, you know? And I remember back when Jamil, me and him, we were sitting down and we had a conversation, and he was telling me that he was going to go out there and make $30,000 in a month, right? And most people, their minds can't even fathom making that type of money. The subconscious blocks people from making that type of money because they don't even believe that they can make that type of money themselves, right? And if something doesn't sound real to your subconscious, you're not going to be able to accomplish that goal. So when he told me he was going to make that, I set my goal smaller because my subconscious wasn't built up like Master Jamil's, right? He's been working his subconscious, and he's been, you know, tapped into the quantum field for longer than I have been, right? So I said $10,000, right? And lo and behold, he went out and he actually made $30,000 in a month, right? So you actually have to be believing that something is possible, and you have to strengthen your subconscious in order to bring these type of realities to truth. And I'm a true testament. I've seen it for myself, and this is powerful, powerful stuff, you guys.
Hey, Malik, one thing I wanted to share with you, just a light bulb came when we were talking there. You know, for years, this has been one of my hobbies. I've always wondered, I was just curious. I'm a curious person. I've always wondered, how is it that people have spontaneous remission experiences? You know, and when I see now, and I've studied that. Now, spontaneous remission, for those of you who don't know, that's where someone's dying, they got days to live. Someone gives them something, might be a little vial of water, but they believe it's medicine, it's going to heal their body. And they have such an intent belief that that little vial of liquid that they take is going to heal their body. They take it, and guess what? Overnight, their body's cured. The disease that they had in it just disappears overnight. Now, think of that. Think of the emotional intent, the ability, and you see the reason these are dots I connect because I'm trained in this area, and I just put it together, and that is the fact that the conscious sent a message bypassing the gatekeeper, went directly and programmed the subconscious. Subconscious sends a message to the quantum servant, say, hey, this guy's dying, okay, but he believes he's cured, and he's, you know, we got to solve that problem pretty fast here. And overnight, bingo, the servant gathers the energy information it needs in the universe, because everything is there that needs, sends it back to that guy, and overnight the biology is put back in place. And it's, I mean, we're talking about instant. We're not talking about something over a period of weeks and everything they got better. I mean, it's overnight. The problem that they had, the disease, is gone. Now, Western medicine doesn't understand this, but when you understand the power of the thought, the brain, that communication, the key to this whole thing is putting that limbic servant to sleep, you know, and being able to go in and program the subconscious. The limbic arc is, like it says, training wheels that assist us in this process. And I believe at some point in time, we're going to figure out and come to the mystery of how that actually works in terms of spontaneous remission. But we're seeing bits and pieces of that in a way of how we can emote and get results. Now, spontaneous remission is something that happens really fast, boom, and at some point in time, we will develop as humanity, I believe, using tools like this to assist us in creating a reality that manifests in a much shorter time frame than it has been. Okay, because as humans, the way we are right now, when we manifest and we really focus on and get this thing figured out, we can have some good results that comes our way within weeks, months, or whatever. But spontaneous remission is an instant thing. And at some point in time, when we have the true intent, the love, the kindness, and doing all the right things, we can all have spontaneous remissions in our lives and everything we do that's good.
That's powerful right there, Ron. Really appreciate that, guys. Listen, this has been some great information right here that Ron shared with us. You know, I hope it helps you put your mindset, you know, armor on so you can go finish the week strong, confident, you know, bringing in that powerful affirmations, you know, talking yourself into the positiveness, the prosperousness, all that good stuff that's going to bring you abundance. And we got the tools right here to help you guys get injected with this, you know, informational info boost and, you know, just start living a life of abundance. So that's why we have this show here, guys. So you guys could learn that it's, you know, it's people out here using energy information to enhance their lifestyles, guys. So we wanted to share that with you guys. And I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Tune in again on Wednesday. We're going to do this all over again. And see you guys at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace and blessings.
Trump dummy, Trump dummy, Trump dummy.